Alright guys, so throughout all my videos, a big part of my appearance has been my hair, which I've obviously been growing out for a while now. I made a hair time-lapse video, 9 months I believe it was. Now we're actually on 10 months, because the last time I got it cut short was September. So I'm going to be giving you guys the pros and cons of having long hair, because obviously a lot of people don't really know what it feels like to have long hair, because they've always gone for like the tapered look or the side part. And yeah, we're trying something a little bit different today. Obviously my channel has nothing really to do with hair, but let's see if you guys like this. Let's jump into it. So right off the bat, here's a picture of what I look like with short hair. You guys have probably never seen me on camera with short hair. Unless you've watched the compilation, you probably haven't seen me with short hair at all. Unless you want to call what I had in January short. But that wasn't really short. This was actually super short. How I had it in September was the shortest I've ever gone. So, here's the deal. There is a few pros and cons that I'd like to touch on that, you guys can weigh them out, and if you've been thinking about growing your hair, you can make a decision after this video. So the first pro of growing your hair out is obviously that it's super unique, right? I mean, no one usually ever has hair like this. Like, it's very big, I guess. It's voluptuous. It's very volume oriented, and it's obviously a standout for every single person that looks at you. They're gonna look at your hair, because especially if you have like that hockey flow in the back like I do, or let's say if you have the big afro, or like anything, any hair type can look good with long hair, and it just looks super unique. And you also look kind of like rebellious, I would say, because short hair is obviously the societal norm, and us like choosing to go against that is a little bit rebellious, and shows like a hint of rebellion within us. So yeah, it's very unique. It's gonna get noticed. People are gonna say something about it, especially if it's super long or if it's like very textured. People will definitely speak about it, and it's a great conversation starter. Literally anyone who has hair just anyone in general, I guess, can appreciate long hair, and you can even start talking to them about their hair, and they'll respond well because you also have long hair, and like, it's a really cool bonding experience to talk to people about hair. I don't know what it is, but everyone likes talking about hair. Literally go and try it. Go and talk to a dude about his hairstyle, and I guarantee you'll have a great conversation. Same goes with a girl, probably. They put a lot of effort into their hair as well. So that is the first pro. Now let's move to a con. So a con of having super long hair, or even hair like this, is obviously that it's a bit of an inconvenience. Like, it could fall into your face. If you didn't grow it out properly, it can be really bad. Like in my case, I cut a few of the front hairs at some point during my hair growth journey, and it definitely messed me up, because now I have to, like, right now it's actually cooperating pretty well, ironically. But most of the time you see like those two hairs falling into my face kind of like this. And that's just super annoying, because I have to keep like throwing it back. And if you are growing out your hair, make sure you grow out the front. Don't do what I did and snip the hairs that are bothering you. Just leave them, put them up, and let them grow. Because if you don't let them grow, they won't have the weight to rest on top of your head, and they'll just fall down, and it's super annoying. So you don't want to deal with that. And yeah, that is the first con, that hair might fall into your face, and also it gets kind of hot under there. So let's move on to the second pro. I'm going to go one pro and one con, see how it works out. So the second pro of having long hair is that it it can look really good with certain face shapes. So in my particular case, I've never been happy with the haircuts that I've gotten. I can't really think of any haircut that I've gotten that I've actually liked, especially the ones on the shorter side. Yes, that could be because I had a bad barber or didn't really know what I wanted, but now that my hair is long, I'm very happy with the way it looks. So you guys never know. Like, if you're unhappy with the way you look with short hair, there's a pretty good chance that you maybe will look better with long hair. Some people's face shape just represents long hair better. Like, they can rock long hair with style. And yeah, I mean, there's really no risk in it. You can just let it grow, and if you don't like it, you can always cut it. But yeah, let's move on to the second con. So the second con of having long hair is the awkward stage. The dreaded awkward stage. I would say this is about 4 months in to 8 months in. Obviously, this depends on how short you cut it. But your hair kind of goes through this period of, like, not knowing where it's at. I'm gonna put a picture right here, and I had like a decently mediocre awkward phase. Like, there was nothing all that awkward about it, but it wasn't ideal. I had like a cowlick. My hair looked completely different than now. Like, it's just way different now. It's more like balanced, I would say. Before, there was like more hair on one side, and it was cowlicking. Basically, what that means is, like, one piece was like down. Here, I'm just gonna put a picture here. It's really hard to explain. Right here, I'll put one. But basically, it was doing that, and it didn't look good, and I didn't like the way it looked. But I held through it, and it eventually got to this point. So you literally have to go through that awkward stage. There's really no way around it. And yeah, once you get through it, you won't want to cut it because it took so long to get to this point. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this con. Let's move on to the next pro. So the next pro about having long hair is that it's super versatile. Like, you can literally do anything with long hair. You can make it look like short hair just by tying it back if it's long enough. And super, like, longer hair is actually more comfortable than like this stage of hair because you can tie it back. With mine, it's kind of still in that stage where I can't really do much with it besides like this style. But if you tie it back, it'll be pretty comfortable. It'll feel like short hair, and you can put a hat on, you can put a headband on, you can put like a beanie on. You can literally do anything with long hair. It's super versatile, and you can style it. You can make it curly, you can gel it to make it straight. You can really do whatever you want, and that's why it's so awesome. Also, another part of this is that it doesn't need to be washed very often. That's very, like, controversial, but I've literally seen in my own hair, I really barely ever have to wash it now. Maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, which sounds gross, but honestly, if you wash it every other day, like how you do with short hair, it'll just look shitty. And it won't look good at all because it'll still have like that wet look. It takes a while to dry long hair. So that's the last pro. Let's move on to the final con. Alright, so the final con is more of a psychological con, but it's still very much a thing. So basically what it is that you get attached to long hair, as I kind of explained earlier in the video. But after you get your hair to this point, you're not going to want to get rid of it, and we somehow grow like this unnecessary attachment to our long hair. I think that's kind of a bad thing because we shouldn't be attached to something, especially if one day we'll lose it and go bald. Obviously that's more of a worst case scenario, but I think just being attached to anything that isn't permanent is not really good. Even being attached to like your muscles, you know, you could... That's probably a little bit better because the more work you put in, the more your muscles will grow. Hair is a lot of times outside of our control, but yeah, like, being attached to your hair is never good, and like, it would be very hard for me to go back to short hair right now, or at least I've convinced myself that it will be. Maybe it won't actually be, who knows, but yeah. definitely a thing that you have to keep in mind as you're growing out your hair. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I can't really decide to die at the end, so I'm recording this on my phone. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all soon.